Hey everyone, welcome to Office Hours with Cloud Posse, where we discuss the latest DevOps news, AWS announcements, and Terraform insights, all sourced from our sweetops community, plus a live Q&A you can't find anywhere else. This is December 24th, 2025. I'm your host, Eric Osterman. Real quick, I'm the founder and CEO of Cloud Posse. Cloud Posse sells AWS reference architectures to get you production ready in just 2 weeks. So if that sounds curious, just head over to cloudposse.com to learn more. So how can you maximize today's session? First off, our format is very informal. You can engage as much as you'd like, ask questions, and if you're curious about any of our open source tools like Atmos, this is a great place to ask. For those in the recording, we host these calls live, so don't miss out. You can join us live by registering at cloudposse.com/officehours. Just enter your email and we'll send you an invite to our live event. I do have one ask. If you find any portion of today's session valuable, share it with your team. Just head over to youtube.com/cloudposse where you'll find the recording of the session posted in just a few hours. Without further ado, let's jump into this week's announcements. It is holiday season here, so not that much caught my attention, but there were a few notable things that came across my desk this week. First was if you have been using matrices with GitHub Actions and trying to do it like for a large scale monorepo, possibly with dozens of environments across hundreds of services, etc., you will max out a matrix. And if you manage to get around those limits, and there are workarounds, the next thing you realize is the GitHub UI crashes. It literally can't handle jobs or workflows with too many jobs. So with this announcement, apparently they have made improvements to the GitHub UI to handle this particular situation, and hopefully the UI doesn't stall and crash. Anyone have that problem? We had this problem because if you're running, for example, Terraform in a monorepo, and you have lots of root modules, lots of components, and you're, let's say, deploying AWS config across 15 default AWS regions, across, say, 20 accounts, and you want to do that in parallel, you very quickly reach the upper limits of what you can do in a GitHub matrix. The next thing that I came across was a AWS Lab Skunkworks project, which implements something like Granted. If you've heard about Granted, is it granted.dev, I think? Yeah, it's an open source project. It simplifies certain concepts of authentication. One of them is just-in-time authentication. Now, we have built similar capabilities into Atmos natively. So this is a little bit less interesting for us at Cloud Posse, but the temporary elevated access solution is kind of interesting, and they describe a solution leveraging Amplify, I guess, to manage those requests and approve them. Has anyone heard of this project by AWS? It's under AWS samples.
I haven't heard of that one specifically, but I've heard of, and I put it in the chat, it's Common Fate, Granted and Assume.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that was that granted.dev. So granted.dev has a couple parts to it. There's the CLI, and then there's the backend piece of it. So yeah, the Common Fate. I think Common Fate is this one here. Are you using that?
Yeah, I'm using that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. How's that working out for you?
I really like it. Yeah, because I mean, it'll populate my my roles, right? I mean, it uses SSO. It'll populate my AWS.config. With those roles, the accounts, multi-account chaining. Chaining is a little bit, it sucks sometimes because you have to unset AWS_profile. But that's really about it.
I use registry feature from them. This is very nice feature actually. If you look at
the registry.
Yeah, so
profile registry. Yeah,
it allow you to share the SSO with among like platform teams and stuff on Git, of course.
Yeah. We have the same concept in Atmos now too. That makes sense. That's cool to have it. Yeah, I would say the biggest gap from what we've done is we don't support this recipe here, as they call it, the just-in-time roles. How is that set up? So is there self-hosted? Have you set that part up, Mohammed or Waisi?
Just in
I
time.
haven't. Go ahead, Mohammed.
Yeah, sorry. Just in time. No, I'm just the registry I tested, so I didn't know
Okay.
about this feature. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't. I
Waisi?
haven't tested that one either yet.
Okay. All right. Is granted for AWS only?
Oh, actually,
Hmm. All right. The next thing, I forgot to study up on this before the call today. We talked about Lambda now supporting a capacity provider of EC2. So you can basically provide your compute to Lambdas and continue to use the Lambda control plane. There was it had a lot of questions for me, and I wasn't sure, for example, if this eliminates the maximum execution time of a Lambda, the maximum size of a Lambda Docker image, and so forth. I didn't get a chance to study this if they go into those details here. Anyone know specifically if Lambda on EC2 alleviates those limitations?
I don't know, but I test run Go binary on Amazon Linux, which is for Rust also. So these like binaries can run without not the same as Python or other languages. So yeah, that was pretty cool feature too.
You did that with Lambda on EC2?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. So now the backend, it's like the runtime is Amazon Linux now. So I guess it's the same. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't see any details here about those two. This I found interesting, not because I was excited about the announcement, but I thought it was an interesting partnership. So, AWS has had their marketplace for a very long time. Vercel has their marketplace with integrations with what I arguably would consider some cooler products, namely like easy integration with ingest, I think, and Neon being a supreme experience to using RDS. Neon being a serverless database that was recently just acquired by Databricks. But now Amazon has come out and actually put their own product in a third-party marketplace. And I haven't seen AWS do that. Maybe there are other examples. Have you guys seen ever AWS put their product in a third-party marketplace? So anyways, I think that's interesting if that ends up happening some more. I was just hoping that Amazon was going to buy Neon, but that never happened.
But Eric, you know that Vercel runs entirely on AWS, right?
That is true. That is true. Um, uh, so I guess the benefit there is that you would have your databases presumably within the same region as the AWS hardware. So increased performance. But if you have you used Neon with Vercel?
I know Planet Scale
Okay.
seems pretty popular nowadays, actually, because
Okay.
the replica like offering is really good for the pricing. I don't know if you check it. So
No, I have not. Um, And yeah, there are probably different enterprise concerns as well. I don't know where Neon checks the boxes on those. Where I've loved Neon is just the instantaneous branching of a database, so you can create preview environments from a data set and retry migrations and just effortlessly integrated into the implementation. Next one was, I don't know how I missed this. I do check Martin's blog for updates every now and then. Last time he posted, he was I think checking out at HashiCorp, and then now is headed up the OpenTofu initiative under Spacelift, and he recently wrote this on his personal development log. A thought experiment on what if OpenTofu supported Q as an alternative to HCL. I know like Andre on our team has been a fan of Q. I know Q has attracted a lot of engineers for its elegant use of a JSON-like syntax or to express the configuration. I have to say it's a little dense for me. It doesn't. Yeah. To me, it's like HCL, or let's just do a mainstream language vis-a-vis Pulumi or something. But I thought it was interesting because right around this time, we were also considering what would alternatives look like for Atmos configuration if we supported. So, Atmos is all about YAML configuration today. If you're not familiar with Atmos config, it looks something like this. So these are just variables that are passed to Terraform. These are two different Terraform root modules, and this file is a stack consisting of those two root modules. So this could look like this, for example, expressed in HCL, which I think is pretty clean. Looks pretty similar to what HashiCorp arrived at with stacks in HashiCorp Cloud. Pickle, which is by Apple, a newer kid on the block. Still, what I like about it, I think it's clean, but it's esoteric. And I think why introduce another esoteric option as an alternative to YAML when HCL is already, I would say, esoteric. Starlark, which is a kind of a re-implementation of Python that works in Go, so it could be native TypeScript version. And I missed out on adding Q, even though it was on my radar. I forgot to add it. But as others have mentioned here, I think the biggest risk of doing this is how it fractures documentation. The more ways you allow somebody to express it, the more you have to support. And inevitably, there'll be things in one language that you can do and cannot do in the other. And then what do you do about that? And like this person mentions here, and then you'll end up just with suboptimal support of every language rather than really good support in one. I don't know, open to feedback. I still am bullish on supporting HCL for Atmos since we attract a lot of Terraform users. That might be a natural alternative, but curious, any thoughts on that?
Why not Toml also?
Oh man, yeah, Toml. I don't know. That died with Hugo for me. That's when I first had to write Toml.
I don't know. I'm one of those on the HCL camp, I guess. I like the way it looks, and I guess I'm still just kind of jaded from the landing zone YAML that I had to do.
Yeah. Are you guys still suffering through the landing zone?
I just use it as a vending machine for accounts for the time being, and bootstrapping somewhat like literally Terraform IAM, and that's really about it. Everything else is done in Terraform repos. So
yeah,
I wasn't about to write like every single VPC out in its own YAML block every single time. Like come on. I guess that's the biggest gripe I have with some of these languages is how dry I can or can't get it. If I have to continuously repeat something over and over again and I can't use a data-driven model, right?
Yeah.
With variables and locals and things like that, then or equivalent, then it's just not working with my time, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you know where I stand on that.
Mhm.
Atmos. It can be as dry as you want it or as verbose as you want it. The problem is when
Yeah.
things get too dry is that we've termed a new term of trade, which is complexity rashes.
Mm.
It's so dry, uh, it's dense to understand. So there's a fine balance between having it be a little bit more expressive and very clear, and a little bit more imperative than 100% declarative.
Of course.
All right. So last one was just something caught my attention on Reddit. Somebody has created a simple little Kubernetes manifest generator. I could see this helpful if you're just getting started whipping up a service. You know overall what the pieces are. Click, drag, add a secret, and then you can connect these two together, and or maybe not. Does the deployment need a pod? And the pod has a secret. Anyways, I didn't thoroughly test it, but you can see it generating the effective YAML here on the right side.
I think
I thought that
secret
was,
to config map, maybe?
yeah, maybe that's right. You need the secret connected to the config map. No,
No.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm sure there's something pretty straightforward, and I'm just an idiot here. There we go. Oh, our passive resources. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I thought that's how you expressed you can leverage a value from a secret in a config map. So I don't.
I
Maybe
think
there's a.
drag from config map to secret at the top. No,
Uh,
top
yeah.
connector, not the bottom one. Mm, no,
Yeah,
bottom config map to top secret. No, okay. We
it was
we
worth
give
a
up.
shot. Yeah, I think there's something wrong there, but anyways, I'm sure that's something that'll get resolved. I thought it was kind of cool little thing. Anyways, that's all that caught my attention this week. It was a pretty slow week given the holidays here in the US. Anyone else have something interesting to share?
There is a open source project like Vault following OpenTofu
Yeah,
footprint. Did you check
open.
that?
You mean open bow?
Yeah, I did you use that, Eric? Or
No, I mean we've talked about it a bunch on office hours. Most recently, a couple weeks ago, I think. Uh, I forget. The name is blank, escaping me right now. But everyone who's brought it up said it was a painless transition. It was a drop-in replacement for them, which makes sense. I mean, it's a fork.
so on that topic, I want to know to hear your opinion on the divergence between Terraform and OpenTofu. So for you as a Cloud Posse, do you like
Yeah,
both your clients into one of them, or the client decide
yeah.
which?
Um, it's a kind of false choice.
Okay.
We always bring it up as an option, but we are strongly advocating one way over the other. And it comes down to just a liability thing. If you interpret the FAQ by the book as it's written, you are not legally allowed to provide an open source solution for automating Terraform that could arguably be considered to compete against Terraform Cloud and provide commercial support. And the easiest way to explain that is if you have Atlantis, for example, and there's been a big misunderstanding. I think there's even a blog post or even an announcement. And they basically say in the post that, hey, community, you don't have to worry. HashiCorp has said this is not competitive or something. And the misunderstanding here is that anyone is free to run open source that uses Terraform Cloud. Oh, sorry, they uses Terraform BSL and automate Terraform and do that in production if they do it for themselves. Therefore, if you run Atlantis with Terraform BSL and do it in production for your own corp, there is nothing wrong with that. That is, well, okay. First, I'm not a lawyer. Take this to your in-house counsel and run it by them. But my interpretation is that that's legal. The issue comes with if you are a company providing support on a product that leverages Atlantis using BSL Terraform. And therefore, by extension, if you're a company providing support running BSL Terraform on GitLab, a company providing support running Terraform on GitHub Actions, with that. And that's where it's a grayer area. It comes down to what is considered competitive with BSL. Now, is IBM going to take you to court on that? We don't know yet. I don't know that there's been any cases brought yet with that. But it is a liability that isn't necessary when OpenTofu is like, hey, it just works. And there is really good parity between BSL Terraform, at least if you stay one or two versions behind BSL Terraform with OpenTofu. And there's pretty good parity. And then there's things you can do in OpenTofu you can't yet do in BSL Terraform. I believe examples of that are like in Tofu, you can now have variables in your source configuration or module. You can have variables in your backend configuration, both of which were not supported in BSL Terraform. So there's differentiators or reasons to stay or to move to OpenTofu as well. Before I continue, any more questions on that or? The BSL FAQ is, so I mean, there's two ways of approaching this. There's from a legal perspective and a engineering perspective. So from a legal perspective, that's something you got to bring to your in-house counsel and see what they feel comfortable with. The definition of a competitive offering requires interpretation, and basically you have to contact them and let them decide it. And this is the key thing, paid support. So even if you give your solution away for free, like open source, but then you sell support, that's considered competitive.
Yeah, that looks bad to me.
Yeah. And that's why Atlantis is technically, you're free to use it for yourself, just like anyone's free to use, our open source to do it. But you try and automate it and you want us to help you, then we would be violating the BSL. All right. Any more questions on that? All right. Well, Mohammed, I know you were doing something interesting. We were talking about it in a couple minutes before we kicked off the recording here on Office Hours, which was using Vanta. And you were busy remediating some of the findings together with Claude. You mentioned something about a Claude plugin, and I wasn't sure the difference between that and a MCP. What are Claude plugins?
It's like an umbrella now that Anthropic is trying to push to replace MCP. That's what I think. So in the plugin, you can create your own plugin for Cloud Posse, let's say, and push it to your GitHub, and everyone in your team can use that. And the
Mm.
plugin, you can see, you can define skills, sub-agents, and MCP inside the plugin.
Oh,
So
that's
I
cool. So it
believe,
encapsulates both skills, agents, and MCPs probably in one
yeah,
thing called the plugin.
yeah, configuration models that you're gonna use and etc. So
Nice.
and you can share it. That's like a cool idea to use to create, I don't know, Terraform plugin. So your
Yeah.
team or even GitHub workflow action can use it to review your PRs, for example, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like I said, I was looking for something for Terraform, but seems no one is doing that yet. But yeah,
Yeah.
which really cool actually. So yeah, the hooks, for example, it's so nice to have the hooks, which is really cool. For example, whenever the agent reply to you, should run Terraform lint or format or plan at least before, getting the answer ready for you. So yeah, that's something about plugins.
That's really cool. I definitely got my money's worth for office hours today. We've been doing a lot with skills, a lot with agents, a lot with Claude agent instructions, but we have this is a gap. Like we've been wondering, like how do we
Encapsulate
just
everything.
encapsulate and distribute that and don't repeat it a million times? And you've just I didn't realize this was announced. When was this? When were these announced?
Uh, 3 weeks ago, I guess, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm falling behind office hours. I should share this actually. I don't know.
Yeah, I blame you.
Yeah,
Yeah, Claude codes plugins that might be a feature nobody talks about. No kidding.
3 weeks exactly. Yeah.
It's funny. I was just watching a video on this last night.
Really
Yeah.
interesting. What caught your attention in it?
Basically this right here, right? Being able to roll skills together and then
Yeah,
just pull them in. And being able to distribute them as well is like, you know, just massive, I think.
yeah. And were you looking at Claude Up specifically, or just plugins in general?
It was, I don't know if it was Claude Up. It was just it was really
And
late
this
last
is
night.
not by Claude, by the way. So.
With the plugins, I'm scared now. I can be replaced easily.
Yeah, don't do your job too well. That is cool. Yeah, so were you looking at using this to help you with the remediations related to the findings in Vanta, Terraform, and querying AWS?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess nowadays you can automate most of the manual workflows. That's what I
Hmm.
think. And with plugins, you can achieve that level of automation, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, with Vanta, you always have, when you push something new, like a new RDS, you need to make sure encryption, multi-AZ, and that stuff. So it's so annoying to do it like on a weekly basis, right?
yeah.
And if you, yeah, connect Cloud Code as, run on the as agent on the cloud, it
Hmm.
should fix it right away for you.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. Just get a notification a pull request was assigned to you, review it, and approve and apply.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, radical. All right. Any other questions, Wacy or Mohammed, Eric?
Um, has anyone tried to use AWS Transform since
No,
it
not yet.
came out or became GA? Okay.
Yeah, I did see some announcements just as I was checking that this morning, but didn't dig into it. Don't have a use case for it. How are you using it or looking to use it?
We were trying to, well, we're in the middle of a migration, right? Pushing everything to off of VMware.
Hmm.
And that's literally one of the prompts and for to help make a migration off of VMware and in there and uploaded results from
Mm.
Cloudemize and the MPA
So
format and all that
that's
stuff,
why
right?
I've been getting all these ads on Facebook from ClearScale, a AWS ProServe company. And I
Mm.
guess they're trying to capitalize, I'm guessing, on this AWS Transform then.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's weird about it too is like it's free and
Mm.
it's running, you know, there's a agentic AI behind it, so it's like it's running
Yeah.
on some compute doing
Yeah.
something. Um, but
Well.
I thought it was kind of cool because you could ask it questions once you got through all the jobs. You could ask it questions about the data that you uploaded, just
Hmm.
like any other. But it was tailored to that specific uh, theme, right, or topic. So you didn't really have to kind of train your model or give it a large prompt to go through those things, right, and understand what it needs to do. But
So
yeah,
clearly they're going after the disgruntled Broadcom customers with their VMware.
yeah, it's funny that that one's actually a defined prompt, and there was some other ones as well, but it's mainly about, hey, get your stuff into AWS and we'll help you do it. Um,
Mm.
but yeah,
Interesting. Oh, that yeah. So is this what do you call it? Like there was the AWS had some product called like Migration Accelerator or something or
map,
Migration.
yeah,
Well, that map is a program, a funding program, right? But
yeah.
they actually had some service offerings for migration work, enterprise migration type work. I never looked at it or saw it. I can't recall if they were
Oh,
sunsetting it or not, but I'm just wondering if this is the successor to that.
the
Um,
cloud migration factory.
yes, that exactly.
Yeah, and
Is this
that's
like a
actually,
successor?
I believe so.
Okay.
Because what I was, well, I haven't got through all, the bottom part of the jobs, right, where you actually do the migration, but the cloud migration factory, which was what re-led me to Transform,
Hmm.
is a product that you deploy with CloudFormation. They have like it's free and templates out there, and it's Lambdas and state machines and you know
Hmm.
other things, but it actually I guess you feed it in data like CSV with information about the servers that you want to include in that wave,
Hmm.
and that feeds it to uh, MGN or whatever the applicant or the AWS migration service or whatever it was,
Hmm.
and it would orchestrate that. And then if you wanted, you could throw a quick site on top of it, and have your dashboard and see metrics and all these other things. So it was just a higher level view and orchestrator for the migration service.
Hmm.
Um, I was gonna go down that path just to check it out, and then saw this again. Even though I was at reInvent whenever it happened, and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
But just poking around basically and seeing what else is out there besides a vendor. So
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions we can get answered today? All right. Well, I think we'll end a little bit early today, given the holidays and reduced news cycle. Last call.
I mean, thank you, Eric. It's been a year, and I guess you didn't miss any office hours, right? This year, right?
I didn't miss any. There was one that was a little disrupted. I was on a train back from Germany to Sweden, and the signal was too bad. But that was about it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah, that was out of my control. But yeah, yeah, I haven't missed a one, and this keeps me accountable. So thank you everyone for always showing up and making this a great year for us. And I really appreciate all the feedback we get from our community, all the support we get. So thank you, everyone. And we'll come back next year, 2026. A lot of awesome announcements to make for Cloud Posse. Some really cool improvements coming to Atmos. We'll be launching a roadmap any day now that shows you a product roadmap of Atmos, so you can understand the trajectory, where we've come from, what we've done, and where we're headed with the product, and hoping that'll solidify Atmos in the hearts and minds of more engineers. It's pretty awesome what we're doing now. Thank you, everyone. Have a great holiday time with family, and Happy New Year's. If we don't see you before then, take care.
Same to you,
Thanks,
Eric.
Yeah, thank you, Nana.
Bye.
Bye. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.